Welcome back to the TakonTV podcast. We are here with Takon of TakonTV, and we were very intrigued by his shirt that has the words Stack Up on it. So tell us about what Stack Up is.
I'm happy to be here. It's good to meet you, Chad.
Good to meet you too.
Stack Up is an organization that benefits active duty military members, retired military members from any NATO power. Their base is their focus is basically, if you don't shoot at us, we'll probably help you out. So they'll help just about any military member. That's their focus. So they do three different things. They send care packages overseas to deployed members of the military. So game consoles, board games, card games, stuff like that. Stuff that's better than old romance novels, which is what the founder said he used to get
right.
when he was enrolled, and he hated that. So they will also take members of the they will take members on trips to stuff like TwitchCon, PAX events, E3. Just about any gaming event, they'll pick some winners and they'll send these people out to those events, no charge. Put them up in a hotel, pay for the flight, everything. And the third, I think this is the most important part personally. The events and the care packages, those are great. But what's even better is that they have a focus on building local community groups for these retired active duty military members to have some other people to get with and have some build that common bond built around the passion for gaming. So a little bit why that speaks to me. I never served myself. My youngest brother did. And I remember how much it meant to him when he'd call me from Germany when he had time to play games. He'd call me like the day before he knew he'd had some free time, and he's like, dude, you gotta be up, so I'm going crazy over here. I gotta reach out to somebody back home because this is just nuts. And he was able to. He had a gaming laptop, so we were able to play together, even though it was whatever o'clock in the morning or afternoon in Germany. On the weekends, just get together. And I know that really meant a lot to him to have something in common with somebody else outside of the military service, have a secondary passion. So this brings people together that have a lot of common ground. That maybe there's a lot of what happened to my brother when he came back. Everything that. Having a community built around gaming has helped him cope with coming back into civilian life. And that's a message I hear time and time again from the people who benefited and people who are part of these stack-up groups that operate locally, that they have just this huge benefit in their daily life. Quality increases because they've got friends who've been through similar stuff. They have that camaraderie that they may have never met in the service, but now they're in the same town, living there together. They're not alone. They have people they can go get with and have a good time.
Yeah.
So that means a lot to me.
Games for good. I never thought how much more important that would be to a military member than like a civilian, because obviously I can, I see exactly, what you mean. Like if I'm feeling isolated, alone, or anything like that, especially back in high school, I could hop online on my games with my friends, and all of a sudden, no matter where I was, I felt like I was at home.
Absolutely.
So I can see how, especially for military members, that I'm sure that feeling is just tenfold whenever that happens.
Right. Their coworkers may not get it. They may not have any family in the city they're staying in. They may have relocated for whatever reason. So this helps them be not quite so alone. And I think that's a really huge thing for not just military members, but for anybody. We're social beings. Even those of us who like to stay home on the weekends, every now and then, we don't maybe seek everybody out, but you know what? We need a little bit of it.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about your channel, TakonTV. What do you like to stream?
I like to call myself kind of your everyday, friendly, space and sci-fi variety guy. So I do a lot of science fiction themed games. Top of my head, a lot of Warframe. Warframe's a good time because I've got a lot of people in my community who like to play it, and we like to do that's kind of my follower game. That's my go-to. We're doing Follower Friday. It's Warframe. It's happening. From a non-sci-fi sort of point, we have Sea of Thieves. It's been great fun lately. That's one that's I think that's going to be featured pretty prominently. It doesn't fit the theme of the channel, but you know what? That's why I put the and variety on the end there.
Right.
Space, sci-fi, and variety.
Right.
Hey, that's a guy I know right there. We got Elite Dangerous is coming out with some new stuff pretty cool, so we may come back into that. They're kind of doing, like if you imagine a line chart, it's got these peaks and valleys for Elite Dangerous. So new content comes out, it's real exciting, but hopefully they can build something that'll be more sustainable. Because right now it's an every now and then thing for me, which is fine because there's another game. Oh gosh, I could just go on forever here.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you've heard of the Star Citizen project.
Yes.
Yes, that's I'm a big backer for that. Yeah, there's not much to play right now, but that's the nature of development. You know, they had to get something out there for people to see, to show progress because. I bet it was like 2014. People kind of worried. They're like, "Hey, can we see something, you know, for our game?" And they gave us tech demos, but we gobbled that up. We really did. We gobbled up. We played hours of it. They were front page of Twitch. They were huge. They had a panel at TwitchCon for space games. It was really awesome. So you know, even though development may be at a bit of a lull right now, it's very promising. You know, it's just you gotta have patience for it. Yeah, looking forward to games coming out. I not only Sea of Thieves, but I know Far Cry 5. I'm gonna be doing a co-op play with one of my team partners on that. Cool. That'll be a first for me. I've never really done something like that.
Yeah,
so that'd be good.
I've never played any of the Far Cry games. You might.
They're good. You should just play 3. 3 is
That's
great.
what I've heard. I've heard 3 is like
great.
the best one.
Yeah.
You might like. I know that one of our developers. It's not something we started on yet, but he really wants to make a sci-fi space shooter.
Yeah.
So. I'll let you know if that comes about, but
I've got a guy who's teaching himself Unreal Engine, so maybe I need to get him your information.
Ooh, maybe.
He's teaching. He's trying to make what was it called? F-Zero, the old game for the
Yeah.
Nintendo.
Oh,
And
I
he's
love
gonna be
F-Zero.
like that because he wants to be a combat racer, and he's one person. He's one guy with a kid and a job and a wife, but in his spare time he models the spaceships for it. So I need to actually ask him about that because he always showed me all the time. I'm so excited about it, but it's been kind of dry lately. So I think he's been busy with the kid.
Gotcha.
Priorities.
So when did you start streaming and how did you get into it?
I started streaming. I discovered Twitch because of Star Citizen, actually. I think it might have been from the Star Citizen subreddit. So, you know, thanks to CIG and that whole community for bringing me here. That was the first game I ever streamed. I learned very, very quickly that it's hard to run an unoptimized game and a streaming from OBS Studio on one rig.
Oh, yeah.
So I learned that the
I'm
hard way.
experiencing that.
Yeah. So, yeah, it kind of started off slow about 2 years ago. We just had our 2nd year anniversary. So, although I really say I'd start taking it seriously about this time last year.
Gotcha.
You know, just actually like, okay, gotta get a schedule. Get an identity. Do something. You know what I mean?
I hear that the schedule is one of the most important parts, just so people know when you're going, you know?
Extremely important. Identity, I'd say, is right up there with it.
Gotcha.
I don't know how many millions of streamers there are, but I imagine just about everybody with a Twitch account has tried at least once. And I always encourage people, just try. You know, you won't regret it. You won't regret trying. I've been reading a lot of different books lately about just, you know, you should just go try something. You want to do something, you just assess it, see the pros and cons. If there's not too many cons, just try it. And if you fail, well, okay, you failed. That's fine. Just learn from that, maybe try again or move on. Maybe you know you're better at something else now.
Yeah.
So you never know. I had a community member of mine who was trying to stream games. She's like, man, I'm having a hard time streaming games. But I knew she did a lot of art. She's an art major in college. I'm like, why aren't you streaming your art? She had no idea that the creative section existed on Twitch. I was like, you need to stream your art. You will have a much more fun time doing that. If you're having frustrated with games, don't do it. Do art. Or if you're a musician, do music. They're really opening it up. I like it.
I see people just streaming, you know, arts, music, it's knitting. I've seen people stream knitting. You know, basically any hobby that, you know, you can put a camera on. Twitch can be an outlet for you. Absolutely. And like I really like that attitude of just try, because that's how we've done with video games too. You know, we were all just friends from high school, and a couple of us went to college. You know, a little later on in life, and we're like, you know what? Let's try this. Like, you know, we have these kind of like normal jobs. Like none of us are really like depressed or unhappy, but you know what would make us happier? Making some video games. So
chase a passion.
Let's do it.
Chase a passion. You'll regret not chasing the passion. You should always chase it, and that way you can't ever say later in life that you didn't try.
Right. All right. It was fantastic to meet you. That is Takon from TakonTV. Look up stackup.org. I heard they just got the rights to the.
It is just one word now, stackup.org.
Okay,
no
and
dash.
that's live, right?
That is live,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay, I didn't know if it still had the dash in the.
yeah.
Okay, stackup.org. TakonTV. Great to meet you.
Good to meet you as well. Handshake. There we go.